Heinz is proud to partner The Urbanist on Monocle Radio. Heinz is a leading global real estate investment manager. Heinz owns and operates $93 billion of assets across property types and on behalf of a diverse group of institutional and private wealth clients. Heinz' ambition? Well, in the words of its chairman and CEO Jeffrey Heinz, to be the best real estate investor, manager and partner in the world. Find out how Heinz is making that dream a reality. Head to heinz.com now. Heinz, a leader in real estate investing and management since 1957. Occasionally, it's the most unlikely creations from the most improbable inventors that can have the biggest impact. An outsider's eye offers an unprejudiced view of a problem and can sometimes herald the most innovative solutions. So, who better to find an answer to the question of how to convey skiers to the top of the slopes than a railway engineer from the dead flat prairies of Nebraska? You're listening to Tool Stories, a Monocle production brought to you by the team behind The Urbanist. I'm Andrew Tuck. In this episode, Gregory Scruggs explains the story of an unlikely invention that changed the fortunes of ski towns the world over.
For the last several months, millions of winter holidaymakers from Aspen to Arlberg have queued up in the snow, shuffled their skis into position, sat down on a cold metal seat, and launched airborne to climb up a mountainside. Riding a chairlift might terrify the uninitiated, but for those dedicated to winter sports, they are vital infrastructure. What chairlifts are to skiers, subway trains are to urban commuters. Today, chairlifts are manufactured and maintained by specialized multinational companies like Austria's Doppelmayr and France's Poma. But around 90 years ago, it was an enterprising engineer named James Curran who first dreamed up a scheme to ferry human beings into the sky. The invention was doubly surprising. First, because Curran was a railroad engineer, and second, because he was based in the pancake-flat prairie city of Omaha, Nebraska. But his boss, Union Pacific Railroad head Averell Harriman, had ambitions to build a destination ski resort in the American West, inspired by the grand mountain retreats of Chamonix and St. Moritz. He enlisted an Austrian nobleman, Count Felix Schafgotsch, to scout the mountainous terrain for a suitable location reachable by Union Pacific's trains. The Count eventually settled on a sleepy mining town named Ketchum, where heavy winter weather otherwise cost the railroad a fortune in snow removal. That white nuisance, however, became white gold when Sun Valley Resort opened in 1936. There was just one problem: how to transport guests up the mountain. Aerial tramways, which were already beginning to crisscross the Alps, were expensive and perhaps overkill for the scale of Sun Valley's initial development. But other nascent means were just too rough. Rope tows powered by motor engines required a firm grip with sturdy gloves. Otherwise, they were liable to tear the skin on a skier's palm, or worse, a shoulder out of its socket. That was not exactly the genteel experience Harriman sought for his guests, who ranged from Hollywood starlets to New York financiers. So earlier in 1936, Harriman dashed off a telegram to his bridge engineer. It is essential in connection with Ketchum Enterprise to develop a method of lifting skiers 2,000 feet above the valley floor to mountains east of Trail Creek. Stop. Suggest you have one of your engineers examine terrain with a view of making a recommendation how the problem can be solved in the most economic manner. Stop. The Alpine appeal paradoxically sent Curran's mind to the tropics. He had previously worked in Honduras, where he designed a banana conveyor system that lifted bunches of the yellow fruit from the docks onto boats. He sketched out a modification that would make a continuous ascent. Rejected at first as too hazardous, Curran persevered, and higher-ups greenlit the project. months of tinkering in the Omaha locomotive repair shop resulted in a prototype. Test riders wore roller skates to simulate sliding on snow. By December 1936, the world's first chairlift was installed for Sun Valley's inaugural season. Despite this claim to fame, no self-respecting ski resort still uses lift infrastructure from nearly a century ago. Sun Valley's original chairlifts are long gone. So whether heading to the top of a race course or just enjoying a thrilling run down the pistes, Sun Valley skiers are instead riding the likes of Challenger, one of the world's most modern and fastest chairlifts, which zips up 956 meters in elevation in just 8 minutes. Fortunately, for devotees of skiing history such as myself, Sun Valley's thoughtful owners have preserved one slice of this industrial heritage. Eager to make the pilgrimage, I drove 5 kilometers out of downtown Ketchum after a day on the slopes and paid homage to Curran's genius. Passing stately chalets and a snow-covered golf course, I stopped on a quiet stretch where Rude Mountain Chairlift, the resort's third, still stands. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the ancient conveyance is in remarkably good shape. The wooden towers are upright, the rudimentary chairs still hang under tension cables, and the lift shacks were recently replaced. I trudged through knee-deep snow for a chance to admire it all up close. An unexpected invention from an unlikely source that changed the fortunes of thousands of mountain towns across the world.
Tall Stories is a Monocle production from the team behind The Urbanist. This episode was written by Gregory Scruggs and produced and edited by David Stevens. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to receive new episodes every week. I'm Andrew Tuck. Goodbye, and thank you for listening, City Lovers.